As an energy company running Microsoft Copilot out of the box, your people are not the problem. The search engine Microsoft gave you is. You see, Microsoft Copilot has a limitation that most enterprise buyers never get told about before they sign the contract. When anyone in your organization needs information, your health, safety, and environment manager, let's say, checking a regulatory requirement, your field engineer looking up a maintenance procedure, or your procurement team reviewing a contract, or even your operations manager tracking down the right SOP, Copilot only looks at and delivers a small handful of documents before giving an answer. As an energy company with thousands of internal documents, procedures, and records, your teams are getting responses built on a fraction of what actually exists in your systems. On top of that, your employees are searching by word matching rather than meaning, the most basic form of search. So when your team uses slightly different language than what appears in a document, the right answer never surfaces, or it's been limited. So your documents with tables and structured data layouts lose their formatting entirely when the system processes them, which destroys the very information your teams rely on most. And when a document never gets picked up by the system, your people receive no error and no warning. It simply just disappears or doesn't show up. So this isn't a settings problem. This is how the product was built. Microsoft has acknowledged this publicly and released guidance for organizations that need something more capable. In fact, we've already built that product and you have the infrastructure to fix it. It's a custom knowledge system based on your existing Microsoft environment that reads every document you have, understands the meaning behind your team's questions, keeps all formatting intact, and delivers accurate answers in minutes rather than days because the system didn't get refreshed. So without replacing a single tool your people already use. As an energy company, your access to the right information is not just an efficiency concern. It's an operational risk that touches every role across your organization. When your team follows the wrong version of a procedure, when your compliance documents can't be located during an audit, when your new hires make decisions without access to the institutional knowledge that would have guided them correctly, those are not IT problems. They are your business problems. Every day your knowledge infrastructure underperforms is a day every person across your organization that they're compensating with workarounds instead of working with the information they should already have and that should be available to them. You invested tens of thousands into Microsoft and Copilot to solve that. The solution is available now and it runs on the infrastructure you already own. You see, the problems that you're facing are not unique to you. They're actually experienced by many organizations across the world. Everyone who's running Microsoft Copilot right now is having very similar issues. And in fact, I've gone to the internet. It's something that you could do. You may have already heard it from your people within the organization. But when I go to Reddit, I see comments like this. It fails to do any of the things that would actually make it helpful and generally sucks. Talking about Microsoft Copilot. It's insane, another user says. I've never seen anything as bad in any AI. And so the general consensus is this. You have incredible tools out there that are doing wonderful things and increasing efficiency and output for organizations that have the capability to allow their people to use tools that are more specific built, like Claude, ChatGPT, Perplexity. Those are also more generic tools. They're at least more refined and have a better specific purpose for what they're capable of. Microsoft Copilot is like the most generic and vanilla AI that you could possibly use. And the things that you think that it should do, which is allow you access to all the information that you have within your Microsoft ecosystem, it's actually competing with a lot of the other parameters that Microsoft has to watch out for. So Microsoft Copilot isn't necessarily a tool that is best for gathering information, analyzing that information. It actually has to take into account a number of different things that are blocking it from producing the best results. And again, you're not the only one. In fact, we recently there's a client use case, just finished working with them. It's a large $50 billion pharmaceutical company based in Germany. They had a full tech team. They even had an AI developer. But it wasn't until we were able to go in and build our infrastructure that basically flattened all of the files. We took over about 1,200 different files, built this infrastructure, connected it in a way that allowed this organization to take full advantage of their Microsoft ecosystem. And it was that unlock in this time that really made all of their information much more valuable. All of a sudden, within about 4 weeks, that was the lead lead time that it took us to develop this. They had access to every single document, every single PDF, every intranet website they had ever built. It was just being recorded and indexed and put into a vector search the way that it should be. We have an ability to basically build this the way it should have been, but the way that it can't be because it's an out-of-the-box sort of vanilla feature. Again, Microsoft is giving you the sort of the generic form of their tools. They have other tools that are very capable. And in fact, that's one of the other benefits of this is when we build this infrastructure and this system for you, we're not going to outside tools. We don't go and pick another vendor and do some integration that might compromise your data. We actually use the tools that Microsoft provides, but we just have sort of, if you will, a unique tech stack that allows us to take full advantage of things like RAG databases, vector search, semantic search, all these things. Basically, one of the things that people, if you again go into the internet, onto Reddit, platforms like that, you just see that there's so much limitation in terms of what Microsoft Copilot out of the box allows someone to do. It's like, you would think that it would be able to analyze your emails, or it would be able to go out and search documents that you've created, or even that people in your organization have created that would be useful. But it just seems to be very limited, and people don't understand why. And again, it's really the limitation of the tool itself, and that out of the box, they aren't giving you, the Ferrari to build that. And that's what we've accomplished. That's what we've done for clients already. We have these use cases. In fact, one of the things that we'd like to share, if anyone is interested, click the link below and it'll take you to that. But it's something that these are problems that thankfully can be solved within weeks. This isn't a year-long project anymore. With the advent of AI, a lot of these things are being accomplished very quickly. And so it's taking your infrastructure and all your information that you already own in this ecosystem that you've already built, that all your users are used to using on a daily basis. It is the Microsoft platform. And instead of relegating your employees to this kind of useless tool where you might have thought as an organization, goodness, we were so excited about AI. We can't wait for it to really do all these things. And you've heard it. You hear it all the time. You hear it from different people, maybe even from competitors in your organization, and surely within different industries. AI is doing some incredible things, but the problem is how it's set up and what it's allowed to do, what it's allowed to reference, what the LLM is trained on. And again, in this particular case, there's no extra tools that we need to build. There's no application, no other UI. It's really about how we engineer the data, how we tie together all of the data that already exists, and how we utilize the tools that are available in Microsoft and organize them in a way that allows you to utilize all of your data in the best way possible. And really, it's an incredible unlock when it comes to the efficiency and what organizations are trying to do that, again, have built decades of their infrastructure and decades of their business processes in this Microsoft platform. So, I just would love the opportunity to share more information with you. So definitely reach out if there's anything more to elucidate or just discuss about how this can really benefit. The unlock and the true power behind this once it's integrated is that it really is what you thought Microsoft Copilot was going to do, and be able to analyze all your documents and pull things in, give you really good assessments and allow it to be very creative, but also accurate with your information. This is the infrastructure that we have built